Hello viewers, welcome to this drawing masterclass where we shall learn how to shade a box using hatching technique. And of course we shall not use rulers or measurements, we shall use the free hand. In our last lesson we learned about a shading technique called hatching. Now for this lesson we need some materials, the usual materials, the pencils, eraser, the paper, and a smooth table for drawing on. Those are the materials that we shall require to use in this lesson. To start with this exercise of shading a box, we need to draw the box first. We need to draw the box. And when you are drawing the box, many people are tempted to draw a box like this. They draw like that, they draw like that, they draw parallel lines. They draw parallel lines. The box does not look realistic. Let's imagine people draw a box like that. They draw a box like that. Huh? They draw another box like that. Similar. This distance becomes the same distance. Huh? Like that. Huh? Then they join here. Those are types of boxes you can draw, but you need to put some kind of perspective. You need to show that the box is, the lines are projecting to a certain vanishing point. This is a topic that we shall learn later about perspective. It is like the lines can be projected to meet somewhere at a certain vanishing point. That is a topic for another day. So when you are drawing, ensure that you create a realistic drawing that shows, that has some aspects of perspective. But now, we have drawn this box. When you are drawing this box, make sure the verticals are vertical. The verticals have to be vertical. A vertical, in such a drawing, the verticals are always vertical. These verticals, they have to be vertical. And you should also consider now a source of light. Where do you want us to? We want to start shading. Let us imagine light is coming from this direction. This is the source of light. So it is striking here. There will be a highlight here. And there will be also some, this face will have some light, but the darkest side will be this one. It will be very dark here. This face will be the darkest. This top face will receive a lot of light. So this face will be a highlight. So let's give some shade to this face, and we are giving it a shade because it is not receiving a lot of light, and we are using hatching technique to shade this box. We are using hatching technique to sheet this box. The exercise of doing parallel lines is called hatching. I'm shading this face of a box using hatching technique. But I'm not using any instruments, rulers, no. We don't use rulers in fine arts. We draw freehand. And another trick that we learned earlier is that we don't allow 4 lines. We always pull lines. We pull lines so that we don't leave lines showing. That is it a rule that we made for ourselves, or is it a conventional rule? Give me your comments whether this rule that we have made for ourselves works for everybody. I'm still hatching. Hatching is different from blending, because in hatching you can see the lines. In blending you don't see lines. The tones are very gradual. Like that. Then we now want to draw, this face now. This is the darkest. We can give some, okay, let me do some trick here. You can imagine there may be some other source of light striking on this box. So now this one now gives us the allowance. Now we can now shade this side, because it is the darkest side. This will be the darkest side. I'm still doing the trick. I mentioned a certain trick. Yeah, like that. So now we are now left with this line. What do we do to remove this line? Because we said we have to pull lines, huh? Remember the trick of pulling a line? Removing a line by pulling, you shade the background. But before we do that, before we shade the background, I want us to look at this box. This box is floating on this surface. It is floating. We need to make it belong to this paper, to this surface. We wanted to have a background. What do we do to make this box belong to the background? Remember what we said? We give this box a shadow. Let it cast a shadow. This box is casting its own shadow somewhere. Somewhere here. If the light is coming from that direction, there's a cast shadow here. It's a cast shadow, and we are also still using the hatching technique to cast this shadow. Now, we are now left with, what do we do with this line here? Because if we leave this picture like that, there will be a line here. This line will show, this line will show, and this line will also show. What do? We said we shade the background. I want us to shade the background so that the box or cube, belongs to the surface. It is not floating in the air. And we are still using hatching technique. We can even make the box to be somewhere inside a room. Let us create a room here. It is somewhere. inside a room. The same case for here. Yeah, we have managed to draw a box inside a certain room. We have shaded this box using a technique called hatching. Shading a box. Using hatching technique. That has been our lesson for today. I want you to continue with this exercise. It needs a lot of practice and you shall make it. In our next lesson, we shall learn about a shading technique called cross-hatching. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe and YouTube will be notifying you of any new video that we publish. You can also click the like button. You can like this channel. You can like the video. You can even share this video with others. And kindly give me your comments on how you found this lesson and this technique. And we come to the close of this lesson. Bye for now. Let's meet in the next video.